We've seen some amazing things, but that, my friends, is something we've never seen.
Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Brandon wants advice.
Brandon Cruz wants advice. You have locked yourself into the playoffs.
Nice.
Got it.
Talk with old Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Completely speechless, to say the least.
Man, I am honestly so baffled by that decision. Brandon Cruz wants advice. It's Brandon wants advice.
Green flag in the air. Brandon Cruz wants advice to the front.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are you doing? This is the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast, and this is for the GECIO 500. Yes, that's right, the Cup Series at Talladega. First off, I just want to say, go check out Burnout Avenue. My article will be up there. Go follow them on Twitter, and check out their podcast. They release every Monday on iTunes and all the places you can find podcasts. They do a comprehensive race review and discussion over there. I have yet to appear on one of those stupid things because I keep working and things just keep happening. But please check them out. I do love listening to Josh and Zach's opinion over there. So let's get right into it. Cup Series at Talladega. Remember, guys, I don't have any graphs or anything. This is just an audio-only podcast because I would like some help. If you guys could help me out, Patreon is in the description if you'd like to support the show. Either way, now let's get into it. So we are running just a whole cluster this weekend at Talladega. First off, last year, in case you've been under a rock for the past couple days, I'm just going to go over the notes right fast. Last year they were at 450 horsepower with the restrictor plate. Now they are at 550 horsepower with the tapered spacer. NASCAR did not like the way that the cars were handling or looking like in practice based on speeds. They were running at the 202 threshold, so they added a wicker bill to the rear end of the car, offered another gear that you could run. So you can run both. I think it's the 350 and the 345 gear. It's whatever the teams prefer, but whatever they qualify with, they must race with. So we will see how that goes. In the second practice, they ended up going a tad bit faster just because, listen, man, I'm not an engineer, but I could have told you they were going to go faster if you put a bigger wing and knocks a bigger hole. Yes, it slows cars down by themselves when you make a bigger hole in the air. If you had a pack of cars coming through, they're going to be going faster. I'm going to complain about that a little bit more, but I see this race going 1 of 5 ways. And I'm going through my notes right now that I've written throughout the weeks, and then the ones that I've written post practice. So this was before a huge pack with stupid fast passing. We're gonna have a huge pack with 1 leader. We could have single file racing. It could be like a 1970s race where everyone kind of just pulls away, but I doubt that's gonna happen. And then we could have tandems. I think what we're gonna see is we're going to see a mix of pack racing and stupid fast runs because I don't think you could really do single file just because of the runs they get. I think that's actually going to be harder for them to do. They might choose to do single file just to make it through the race, but I know a lot of the drivers don't like doing that. They just find that boring, and it's boring for everyone to see. Let me get into the notes that I wrote post-qualifying. And then we'll start looking at the fantasy projections and all that for what I have. Like I said, this should be, I don't know, like an 18-minute podcast. So let's get right into it. So first off, the cars are going way too fast. How dare they go fast in NASCAR? I just want to distance myself from Burnout Avenue in case some of you guys get mad at this comment. So this is not Burnout Avenue's opinion. This is my own opinion, right fast. So I think a lot of people forget that we used to have a shitload of fatalities in NASCAR. You know, I posted a picture on Twitter. Just a quick snapshot of the Cup Series fatalities. Not the Truck Series, not the Busch Series, not any of that stuff. Just the Cup, just the top level in Cup. And we used to have a shitload of fatalities. I think everyone forgets that racing is a dangerous sport in general. If you ever go to a local short track, you will see that some of those tracks are poorly designed. The cars are poorly designed, just because some people can't afford to make good safety equipment in their cars, whether it's a roll cage, whether it's a good seat, whether it's a Hans device. Racing is a dangerous sport, and I think a lot of casual racers and a lot of casual fans forget that. Yeah, people realize, well, yeah, IndyCar is dangerous, but yeah, they got an open cockpit in it or anything. I mean, NASCAR is dangerous as fuck too. These guys are going like 203 in a 3,200-pound bullet. You know, anytime you crash, I mean, that's dangerous. First off, so I think people have just forgot that NASCAR is dangerous. NASCAR has always been dangerous. Racing has always been dangerous. But Yeah, sure. I think the flip threshold they have right now is like 205, 206 that they're worried about a car getting airborne and flipping. But man, we've seen time and time again. You don't need a perfect storm of just speed to flip a car over. If you get hit wrong, whether it's Carl Edwards flipping at Talladega, Martin flipping over, Kenseth getting upside down a couple years back in the Gen 6. I mean, flips are going to happen. Uh, I understand that we're trying to be safe. We're trying to be as safe as we can driving these stupid fast cars, but the drivers know the risk. And if you're a spectator going to a racetrack, regardless of what racetrack it is, you need to know the risk, okay? And I don't mean to sound ignorant by saying this, but either run the restrictor plate and play it safe because you know how safe those cars are there, or don't run the restrictor plate, run the tapered spacer or whatever, or don't run one or whatever, but don't bitch and moan about the cars are going too fast. We're going too fast here. Because you guys have literally jumped out of the safety measure that you put in for these stupid tracks. We put in restrictor plates to, quote unquote, have safer racing and safer cars. Then you remove them, have a little extra horsepower, knock more air, or put a bigger hole in the air. I mean, this stuff is dangerous. But don't pussyfoot around and be like, well, we got to change it. It's too fast. Like I don't know. Like, does anyone get what I'm saying? Does anyone agree with me? I see a lot of comments on Twitter and stuff being like, well, they're messing up NASCAR. NASCAR is meant to go fast. And there's always one fucking person there it's like, well, we don't want a car flying through the catch fence killing 15 people. I understand that, but they took out the restrictor plate. What the fuck do you expect, dude? They're going to, I don't want anyone to get injured. I don't want anyone to get injured. But these drivers know the risks. NASCAR knew the risk. They got rid of the restrictor plate. This race is going to either bring back restrictor plates or just keep the inevitable possibly happening. Like the race is either going to go well, and they're going to be like, well, I guess we don't need restrictor plates. We'll just keep dicking around until some bad crash happens, or something's going to happen, and they're going to bring back restrictor plates because they don't like how fast it's going. I don't know. Like the people that I grew up around, whether it's dirt track or whatnot, a lot of people don't wear Hans devices. There's a lot of poorly designed seats out there. Safety has always been an afterthought. I mean, I'm not saying all dirt tracks are like that, but a lot of the hobby racers and stuff like that, safety's always pretty much at the end of their thought list. And I mean, that's how Dale Earnhardt raced with his open face helmet. That's how a lot of old school drivers feel, from what I've seen. Just a lot of the old guys going around with a shitload of money, just racing around. Like safety, yeah, sure, it's always there. Yeah, sure, you built the car safe, but I don't know. It's a tough one, man. It's tough trying to design cars that are safe. I don't know. I'm going on this rant way too long. I'll just end it here. There's two types of people. There's I'm not gonna call either one of them race car drivers, but there's daredevils that like adrenaline and like the danger, and then there's others that just aren't comfortable with that stuff. Whether that's a mom not letting her son play football because she's afraid of CTE, or whether it's a dad who played football, knew the risk, got injured himself, but still wants to have his son enjoy playing the sport. It's the same thing as racing. Racing's a dangerous sport, and no, racing is dangerous. Anytime you strap in a vehicle, you could die. You could straight up get killed in a wreck. But man, a lot of racers out there just want to go as fast as they can, and it's gonna be an interesting race tomorrow. I do expect to see two cars flipping over. I think it'll be two separate accidents, and then there's gonna be, I don't know, man. I just got a bad feeling we're gonna have a really bad wreck. I don't know what we can really do about that. I don't know. That's a conversation for a different time. As a race car driver, I'd want to race, regardless of what it is. Whether we're going 220 or 190. I just want to go as fast as I can. You know, whether that takes my life or not. You know, that's just how I look at it. I don't know. That's just how I am. Anyway, let's get into the fantasy aspect. Sorry about that rant right there. I'll have to put something in the description to let people know that my rant will end at like 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Anyway, getting into the race, getting into the DFS perspective, who do I like entering the race? There's a couple guys that I like. Brennan Gaughan. I mean, he only does plate tracks. He's very consistent. Paul Menard, yet again, very consistent there. Stenhouse, he's going to wreck, or he's going to wreck the field, or he's going to win the race. That's how it's going to go. Also, I'm recording this during the Xfinity Series. I was going to wait till after qualifying, but man, I was like, why am I doing that? Everyone's going to qualify pretty much where they always do on the plate tracks, and we're going to be playing. If you guys think it's a wreck fest, you're going to play guys in the back. If you don't think it's a wreck fest, you're going to either play teams, stacked Fords, stacked Toyotas, stacked Ford and Toyotas, stacked Penske, stacked Stewart-Haas. You know, like that. That's what's going to boil down to. Whatever you think is going to happen. I don't think we're going to see any tandem racing. I don't believe the cars are going to be able to allow that. Yeah, sure, Penske might try it, but you know, there's just so much holding the tandem racing back in this package. I don't think it's going to happen. That's another thing. Why did I didn't hate tandem racing. It's not pack racing. I mean, that showed fucking skill, man. Watching Trevor Bayne, watching Stewart, watching Junior, watching guys that knew how to push and knew how to work together with teammates and stuff. I mean, that was cool. That was so much fun, especially back in the day when they allowed drivers to talk to each other over the radio. That was one of the coolest things watching it back in, like, I don't know, what was that, like 2008 or something? That was legit. That was freaking awesome. Let's see. Looking back at the 500 race, they ran double file at the 500. Let's see. They ran double file at Daytona, but they really didn't end up wrecking. And yeah, one line did end up breaking away, like towards the end of the 500. But that's just, I think it's because a lot of the drivers had confidence and they knew how to race. I mean, these cars are glued to the ground, dude. I mean, they are suction cupped to the ground. Their front ends, I mean, millimeters off the ground. Side skirts, millimeters off the ground. Rear end, a few inches off the ground. We got that big ass fucking wing on the back, giving it so much rear end downforce. I mean, these things are glued to the track, and I mean, they're glued to the track until they break, they get loose. I don't think there's really any saving it for these guys. Wow, this is a terrible, terrible DFS podcast. I'm just yapping at this point. I am so sorry about that. Yeah, but but the cars are suctioned to the track. If any driver loses the draft, I mean, they're pretty much SOL. Man, it's just tough. I'm sorry. I'm kind of all over the place in this podcast right now, and we're 12 minutes in. I'm just going to go through the DraftKings lineup on the bottom. Landon Castle, Cody Ware, Reed Sorensen, Stanton Barrett. Random. This is one of those weeks where, I mean, literally play anyone, guys. Play anyone you want. If you got a spreadsheet, either from Race the Prize or somewhere else, like a DFS Tavern, he has history on how the drivers do. This race is going to be so fucking nuts. I don't think that's going to do anything. I really don't. I think it's going to be a complete shit show. It's going to be a wreck fest. These cars are going to be going so fast. If one guy gets loose, I mean, the whole... And I don't mean to keep saying it like the fucking announcers do, where it's like, the big one, it's time for the big one, gang. But man, there's gonna be some wrecks in this race, man. It's all gonna be entering the stupid corners, because that's where all the Gen 6 that's the only place they like to wreck, entering the damn corners, or blocking entering the corner on the back straightaway, or like whatever. So, man, I originally came into the weekend thinking it was gonna be a Dale Earnhardt Jr. style pack race, like back when he was driving the 88 in his last couple of years, where he would just be out in front. It'd be a pack of 3 wide behind him, and he's just going up the track, down the track, holding all the fields, or holding the whole pack back. After seeing the closing rates in practice and seeing how, I mean, people that are like 7th in line can get a run, I think the leader is going to be the worst place to be. And I think there's gonna be wrecks on the last lap because you have so much potential to get runs, and if you block a run and they're going like 8 miles per hour faster than you, holy shit, man, you're destroying the field. It's gonna be nuts. Like even right now, I'm watching the Xfinity Series race right now. We got 30 to go at Talladega. They're leaving turn 4. They're double file right now. One lane on the bottom, one lane on the top. I think that's how we're gonna see tomorrow's race. A majority of the time, I think it's gonna be too wide, and then you'll see like maybe a third lane pop up here and there, and then they'll kind of shuffle back, and it'll go back to one lane, and then someone will get a run, and he'll have to just jump on the outside or hit the brake and lose on momentum. So you'll see like a second line come out, then the second line will disappear, and I don't know if we're gonna see any wrecks early. I think we're gonna see all the wrecks at the end with like 30 to go. I think it's gonna be a really clean race until the end, and then it's just gonna be a complete shit show. It's gonna be a complete disaster. Spectator wise, like me watching it as a race fan, I want the cars to go as fast as they can. You know. As a driver, I want to go as fast as I can. Oh, there they go. They just wrecked on the Xfinity race right now. 9 car. Gregson. Sliding. Is he going to hit the fence? He's going to hit the Geico sign. Well, this Xfinity race is going to be a shit show now. I don't know, guys. There's so many unknowns. And if anyone's really telling you what's going to happen, they don't know anything. And I'm going to be honest here. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if it's going to be a favorite or not. I don't think Penske's going to win it just because I think they're going to be caught up in a wreck. I think all the I can't usually I can be like, I trust Keselowski. If he wrecks, he wrecks. I can't do that with anyone because I don't know how this track is going to go. I don't know how this race is going to go. And just because I know that, I don't like any favorites in here. Because you can't ride in the back with this setup because you're going to lose the pack and go a lap down. Like say if we're on like if they're doing a 40 lap run for some reason. I don't know when the first stage is right now. But say if they go 40 laps and you lose the draft on like lap 8 of that 40 lap run, you're going to get lapped easily on like, gosh, maybe like lap 16, 17. I think you can go a lap down in like 8 laps, you know? If you lose that draft and you're by yourself, you were screwed. So you can't ride in the back in this. Gosh dang it, man. This has just destroyed plate racing. So that's a great Sunoco sign shot right there. Fantastic FS1. They have destroyed plate racing. Ironically, they don't have plates, but you know I love watching old races. If you guys ever have the chance, check. I think there's one where it's the 1992 Daytona Speed Weeks. They go over the tire war at Daytona and stuff like that. How those cars raced back then. Watch older races. Yeah, sure, it might be a little bit more boring. There's like not a pack race or stupid shit like that, but man, 80s, 90s, those races looked fun. That looked so much fun to be a driver back then, you know? Dude, what is my favorite quote of Kyle Busch? It's Talladega, I come here to wreck. That's literally what it is. For small teams, you have to ride in the back because you don't want to be killed in the wreck. You don't want your car destroying the wreck. But you can't go laps down, otherwise you're screwed, and you can't make any positions if they just wait till the end to wreck. I don't know, it's a tough one this week, guys. It's a really tough one. For DraftKings and FanDuel purposes, I'll have multiple lineups looking at different outcomes. If I do 10 I want to do a little bit more than 10 lineups, but if I do 10 lineups for DraftKings, at least 4 will be start from the back guys, or at least like 4 guys from the back, 2 guys thrown out for lower ownership. Probably 2 lineups of stacking a certain team or stacking a certain manufacturer. So we're at 6 lineups there. I always do 1 random lineup, one that just disgusts me, where it's like just random guys taking like maybe 2 from the back, 2 in the middle, 2 from like the front. and I'm not sure what I'll do with the last one. I'll just try and find someone who's lower owned. That's why I really don't wait till qualifying, because I don't think qualifying really means anything for DFS at this point. I am interested in Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 81 car. I want to see what his speed. Well, okay, that's one thing you can do for qualifying. If you watch qualifying, check out the speeds of the cars by themselves. Because even though, they can run fast in the pack or anything, I always like to see what an underfunded team arrives at the track with, what time they are. And I'm very interested in Jeffrey Earnhardt this weekend. Very, very interesting. Mainly because he's doing double duty, and I mean, Jeffrey, he's not bad. He's just had bad equipment. I like Kligerman a lot. Kligerman, hell, man, he wins plate tracks about every time he's in them on the damn Truck Series. Matt Tiff and Hemrick are Tiff is $6,100 this week, and Hemrick is $62. Like, that's just a bit fuzzy. I don't know about that. I'll have to see where those guys start. I mean, DraftKings prices are always horrible when it's Talladega. Every driver should be like $8,000, dude. Legit, just every driver $8,000. It's like preseason football. We have no idea what's going to happen. If you guys have any questions or anything, type them in the YouTube. Message me on Twitter. I am so sorry that this isn't really a whole lot of DFS info, but I mean, this is it. Man, other tracks you got history, other plate tracks you have history. You know what to expect. I have no idea what to expect at this race today or tomorrow, and God, I just hope it's a good race, and I hope no one gets injured. I honestly think we're gonna see 2 flips tomorrow. I really do. Hope they're not into the catch fence, and just enjoy the race. This is gonna be one of the fastest Talladega races in recent memory. And let's just hope everyone enjoys it. You guys have a fantastic night. Enjoy the rest of the Xfinity Series race if you're watching it right now. Well, that was stupid. It's going to be over by the time I post this. But either way, enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll check me next time. And thank you very much. Thanks for listening.